We have seen some prototypes of the wall. I think we can get those up on screen right now to see what this is allegedly all about, which is security. And Clint, we haven't heard from you. You used to work in the FBI. Security is kind of your thing. What is your take on the claim of the president that he just wants this wall to keep us all safe? Are there better ways to do that?
There are much better ways to do this for a couple different reasons. One, any wall without overwatch, we would say in the military, is not a defense. You're just blinding yourself to what's happening on the other side of the wall. They never really talk about that. What we've been looking at, even over the last decade, especially with counterterrorism, what we've done in Iraq and Afghanistan, we've advanced technology dramatically. And this is something where we can invest in much tighter border security, much improved border security without putting up a wall that's much more effective, that would invest in our technological advances in the United States. So if you want to invest in industry, we've got concrete down. That wall, when you build it, the day you build it, you've got to maintain it. That maintenance budget is going to cost you that cost of building the wall plus 50 years from now. How much are you going to spend to build that wall? It's going to start crumbling. These advances in technology, we can see what's going on the other side of the border. We can monitor that. We can advance our technology in this country. We can have tougher border security. And I guarantee if you really talk to the professionals that want to accomplish this, on both sides of the aisle, they'll say, here's a solution we're willing to fund. Here's technology we're willing to invest in. Here are companies that can benefit from it inside the United States. It could leapfrog us forward. Instead, building a wall takes us back, to the era of castles. And as we've seen, any regime that's tried to survive in castles ultimately falls. And so I think it's a giant waste of money.
Do you also think that in terms of the rhetoric around the wall and who's supposed to be paying for it, we're having this battle about Congress paying for it, but it was supposed to be Mexico initially. Where do those negotiations stand?
Well, we know, Mexico has repeatedly insisted, the previous government, and there's a new president since then, have said we are not paying for this wall. President Trump has tried to sort of explain this away by things saying the new trade deal that was just passed, USMCA, instead of NAFTA, will somehow yield savings that will pay for the wall. It doesn't really work that way. The savings from, if there are any, from this new trade deal aren't going to go pay for a wall. That will go, back into the economy. So he's looking for ways to sort of justify the claim that Mexico is going to do this. Nobody at this point believes that that's ever going to happen. So he has had to try to do a sales job, or probably needs to explain why American tax dollars need to go for this, when basically security professionals and others say that this is not warranted, and that just enhanced security, of which we already have quite a bit across the border anyway, is sufficient.
I'm struck by the silence within Congress. You're a former member yourself, and in previous efforts, the president has had a lot of backup. A lot of Republicans coming forward on his behalf, screaming loudly, going on conservative news outlets. I don't hear very much from conservative members of Congress or the Senate right now. They've all kind of gone home and are enjoying their New Year's. They're probably getting paid. But is it my perception true in your eyes that they don't seem to have his back on this as much as they have in the past?
I don't think they have his back on the wall, because ultimately every member of Congress, not just the president, is responsible to an American public who is really upset, if not a government employee, but really upset about fundamental services being shut down. That affects us all, period, and ultimately Congress are the ones who will have to face the backlash for that every 24 months via election. I just find it remarkably rich also to see Republicans very, very slowly starting to take that Jeff Flake position of backing away from the president. And it cannot be detached from the indictments which are being dropped, like hip-hop mixtapes. There's a new one every Tuesday and Thursday, and I think that we've reached a place where, you asked at the top of the show, is impeachment inevitable? Well, that's up to a House, and I really don't know what's going to happen right now, but you don't see Republicans with the vocal support as Robert Mueller begins to actually pile up legitimate evidence that say, yes, these guys and this team of individuals, which were very close to the president, actually did this stuff.
Maybe the president will want this wall so he can hide himself behind it with all this pressure coming his way. And coming up, House Republicans wrap their investigation into Robert Mueller's Russia probe before he even finished. What they found and what they didn't find right after the break.